These are the episodes that show the worst thing Stewie Griffin has done. Starting with number 8, where he pretends to be a high school student in order to date a teen girl named Connie D'Amico in McStroke. It starts with Stewie watching a super dramatic TV show on school life, and he confidently announces that he can dominate in any high school setting. He brags to Brian that he can easily be the most popular kid within a week. Brian, skeptical as always, challenges him with some high stakes.
Okay, if I win and you can't do it, you have to put your nose in Meg's hat and take an 8-second inhale.
Okay.
Stewie doesn't back down and literally sneaks into the school hiding inside Meg's backpack, taking the name Zach Sawyer and walking right up to the popular kids.
My name is Zach Sawyer. I just transferred here from rich, expensive, car-driving, sex-having high school.
He throws around buzzwords and instantly becomes the new cool kid in the school. In no time, he's talking to the elite crowd like he's been there forever. Then comes the real goal of asking out the queen bee of the school, Connie.
You want to go out to Anal Point this weekend? See what all the buzz is about?
OMG.
Just like that, baby Stewie's got a hot date, and somehow, nobody notices he's a literal toddler. On the other hand, after listening to Stewie, Brian tries to talk sense into him about the fact that Anal Point is a makeout spot, which obviously goes over Stewie's head.
I suppose if you imagine it like a parking space that you think, gosh, there's no way I'm going to be able to fit in there.
And maybe he shouldn't have, because when Stewie shows up for his big date with Connie, things go downhill very fast.
Is there more underneath, or is that it?
I'm sorry?
Seeing how little Stewie is packing, she kicks him out of the car on the spot. Stewie, humiliated, is left standing there confused like a baby.
Be careful you're not held in contempt of Cat.
Ha!
But it gets even worse. The next day at school, Stewie walks in expecting praise instead. He's met with cold stares.
What the hell is going on here?
Nothing, baby penis.
Turns out Connie told everyone about what went down, and his reputation is completely destroyed. Stewie decides to give up his second identity and asks her for one last parting kiss from Connie.
What the fuck? Look, this girl is making out with a baby! A nude baby!
And with that, his cover is blown. Another creep is off the streets for now. On the next episode, we have an episode titled Second Handspike, where Chris kidnaps Stewie and keeps him in a trash bag for a week. It all begins when Chris, as usual, is getting bullied at school. And as usual, he's terrible at comebacks.
Hey, fat ass! Your boobs are bigger than your sister's.
Oh, yeah? Well, you have a sister as well.
Stewie feels a bit bad for his brother, so he decides to help Chris sharpen his comebacks. Unfortunately, Chris being Chris doesn't really grasp the concept.
I'd say have another donut, you albino gorilla.
Oh, yeah? Well, you have a sister as well.
Still recycling the same line. So Stewie does what any deeply unhinged baby genius would do. He climbs into Chris's backpack to feed him lines in real time, and it actually goes pretty well.
I heard you were born out of your mom's butt. I heard that from your mom while I was doing her. You're a butt baby, that's why you've got moles all over your chest.
With Stewie's help, Chris not only stands up to bullies, but starts defending other kids, and even lands a date, all while using terms Stewie pulled from an anatomy book. Things go so well that Chris gets nominated for student president. But by the next day, Stewie declares his job is done and releases Chris into the wild.
So from now on, you can go to school without me.
But Chris panics under pressure and, lacking confidence, he stuffs Stewie back into the bag filled with garbage, where Stewie is trapped for 5 days. When Stewie tries to escape, it does not go well.
You're gonna die in there.
Eventually, Stewie breaks through by pointing out that Chris has become the very kind of bully he used to fight.
You were being bullied day in and day out, so I tried to help you. I tried to be a good brother, and you've repaid me with abuse. You're the bully, Chris Griffin.
Listening to Stewie's words, Chris has a moment of clarity and apologizes.
I may no longer be on your back, but I'll always be on your side.
Touching? Sure, but also way too quick to forgive the guy who kept him in a biohazard sack for a week. Either way, they got revenge on the bullies.
Yeah, 2 of them shot themselves.
Things take a dark turn in an episode titled Stewie is Enceinte, which literally translates to Stewie is pregnant. It starts innocently enough when Stewie wants Brian to join him on a trip to Whole Foods for his new gluten-free diet. But Brian isn't interested, so he says no, leaving Stewie feeling rejected. He tries to win him over with an offer to watch Nashville together, but still no dice. After watching Joe and Bonnie playing with their daughter, it gives Stewie a horrific idea.
Having a baby seems to have made them closer. Babies save relationships.
So he lures Brian into a fake tea party under the guise of spending time together. But when Brian's glued to his phone all day, Stewie decides to take things into his own hands. He builds a fertilization device and uses Brian's hair and saliva, successfully impregnating himself with dog babies. Stewie announces the pregnancy like it's good news. Brian is, understandably, horrified. He begs Stewie to have an abortion, but Stewie is committed to being a parent.
We're pregnant!
During a checkup with Dr. Hartman, we get possibly the most uncomfortable scene in Family Guy history, where a pregnant 1-year-old is being examined.
But he didn't force force himself on me. I wanted it too.
Well, that's the important thing.
Stewie and Brian continue on like a domestic couple, doing baby shopping, bonding with moms, and even doing a pregnancy photo shoot. But the surreal nightmare really kicks off when Stewie goes into labor while out for lunch. It's already too late to make it to the hospital, and Stewie gives birth in the car.
What the fuck? Can you see the head? I don't know where to look, but maybe you should look at the part of me where there's a baby coming out. Oh, oh.
The result? Mutant. Puppy. We're talking melting bones. Biological horror. Just when you think it can't get worse, it does. The physical deformities get more pronounced. One by one, the pups start dying. Brian and Stewie have a rare emotional moment where they talk it out. Brian admits he was only distant because he thought Stewie needed space, and Stewie explains he just wanted to feel close to Brian again.
I thought you needed more space. I always want to hang out with you.
I was only moody because you were so distant. I always want to hang out with you too.
So they finally decide to do the right thing, which is to drop the surviving pups off at an animal shelter. Next up is one of the only times Stewie met his intellectual match, and it nearly got Brian killed. In the episode Mr. and Mrs. Stewie, Stewie gets pushed around at the park by some brat who refuses to share his toys. Classic kid stuff, until Penelope shows up, a new British girl in town who happens to be brilliant and completely unhinged. To help Stewie, she takes out his playground bully using a glue trap, disguised as Taffy. And that's just the beginning. Impressed and intrigued, Stewie befriends her and heads over for a playdate. They hit it off immediately, bonding over world domination and shared chaos. Things escalate fast when Penelope shows him her bedroom.
Oh my god, you've got a weapons room too? And look at the size of it, it's amazing!
Stewie's clearly smitten, asking whether her parents suspect anything. Penelope casually mentions that her mom's not around anymore because someone decapitated her in the bathtub.
Wait a moment, did you kill her?
Well, I held the knife.
Stewie doesn't care and confesses his feelings right there, and Penelope responds in kind. Luckily, Penelope feels the same way, and both of them go on a date trying to blow up Mort with a wallet bomb. From there, things get more extreme.
Oh, I better make sure my wallet's okay.
They detonate monuments, trigger wars, and cause chaos around the whole world. But Brian finds out what Stewie's been up to and confronts him.
The hell do you think I was talking about when I said victory shall be mine?
You have not said that in a very long time.
He points out that while Stewie dreams of ruling the world, Penelope just wants to watch it burn. Brian suggests Stewie cut things off, but Stewie refuses. But as Stewie starts dialing back the destruction, Penelope gets suspicious. She makes a request to prove his loyalty by killing Brian.
Kill him. Kill Brian for me.
Stewie tries to muster up the courage to kill Brian, but he can't go through with it because Brian is his best friend. He tells Penelope he couldn't do it.
It appears I'll have to kill him myself.
What?
Stewie races home to stop her, warning Brian not to touch anything, including his coffee or donuts, in case Penelope poisons them. Brian shrugs it off until a suspicious package shows up. Penelope finally appears, ready to finish the job, but Brian isn't scared.
Stewie, she's 1 year old. I think I can handle this myself.
Stewie and Penelope engage in a high-tech showdown brawl, launching themselves across town and onto the back of a truck. The two get into an intense fight, with Stewie finally gaining the upper hand.
Stay away from my dog.
As a final goodbye, she kisses him one last time before launching him off the truck.
Beautiful. I'm gonna tell my friends I banged her.
In 8 Simple Rules for Buying My Teenage Daughter, Stewie manages to turn one evening of babysitting into a full-blown psychological thriller. It starts with Meg being tasked with watching Stewie for the night while Peter and Lois go out. And in just a few hours, Stewie manages to cause absolute chaos, asking Meg a million questions, mutating himself with Rogaine, and being an all-around menace. By the end of the night, Meg is done. She tells Lois she's never babysitting again.
I could be out having a life. Meg, if you don't want to babysit anymore, that's fine. But don't you stand there and lie to me.
Oh, Meg, she torched your ass, man. She torched your ass.
So Lois starts looking for a professional nanny. The candidates range from non-English speakers to literal cartoon characters like Gloop from the Herculoids.
I'm sorry, I don't understand. The position has been filled. The position has been filled.
Just when it seems like they're out of options, Ladane walks in, a competent, attractive nanny who immediately catches Stewie's eye. So he starts working on his moves, posing in the mirror, trying to show off his assets, thinking he's packing big.
Yeah. Well, this here? Oh, it's just my package.
He tries to impress her during a game of Jenga, and for a moment, it looks like it might be working, until Ladane's boyfriend, Jeremy, shows up.
I'm not gonna lie lie down for some frat boy bastard with his damn Tiva sandals and his skull bandit?
The moment he catches them kissing, Stewie marks Jeremy as his nemesis. Stewie breaks into Jeremy's house, terrorizes him with creepy mind games, knocks him out cold, ties him up, and dumps him in the trunk of a car.